Hey guys, before you watch this video, we're going to be mentioning something that we already talked about. So if you're hyped about some of this stuff, go ahead and check out our rant on Caleb Ben Krug, who is going to be relevant in upcoming Magic.
That is a very, very good point. So yeah, this episode, we're not going to label it legendary lore because it's not a legendary lore, but it's going to be a bit more of us just talking about the recent showcase for Magic Showcase, where they revealed the next year's worth of Magic content as far as the set names and stuff like that. And we just want to talk about the kind of bearing it's going to have on our channel as far as talking about it. So Joe.
And this is where the calmness stops, because also it's so exciting. We're getting cyberpunk samurais. We're getting a crime boss, which looks like Ob Nixilis. That's the only demon
it's
that's significant enough to be. Yeah. We're getting the Brothers War, which we have talked about, and we're going to get to talk about more. And what else are we getting? Dominaria United. Dominaria United. How exciting is that going to be?
It's going to be super exciting.
Oh my gosh. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team, especially when you're on a team with that guy. He's on this side. That guy who knows everything there is to know about it. So I'm going to let him take the floor now.
So yeah, one of the cool things about Kamigawa is that it had a ton of legendaries. It was the first time, besides Legends, where they really had a huge chunk of the cards in the set based around Legends. The big problem with that is that most of the Legends from Kamigawa did not have a whole lot of story to them. If they did, they were basically just the character that showed up for a few moments in the novel kind of deal.
So it's basically like this is a legendary samurai kind of thing, because samurai. It's like, what's behind them? Samurai.
And spirits. But with Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, we plan, after we finish this whole huge Innistrad kick that we're on, we're eventually going to get into the Kamigawa legendary lores, depending on what you guys request and stuff like that. Stuff might happen in between. But as far as that goes, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty is kind of the next stage, next level thing. We were told that there's this new samurai ninja. They're a ninja planeswalker. And what's interesting is that they showed us the key art, not the actual Ninja Planeswalkers card itself. You can know that because it's horizontal as opposed to being vertical. So we don't know how that artwork's going to look. This is just the artwork they use for the actual splash image kind of deal. The idea of this place having a lot of technology is interesting. It's going to be kind of like Innistrad's Geist-based technology, because most likely it's going to be using the spirits of Kamigawa, the Kami, because Kamigawa had a whole lot of stuff based around the way Kami work and their relation to humanity. If you look at some of the screenshots from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, you'll see that the tree who shelters all is still in the background. It's over the city. So there's still going to be this.
But now they've got technology, which is supposedly powered by spirits. So a possible storyline could be a machine revolt, because there's a bunch of possessed spirits powering the machines.
Or maybe a ghost in the machine. Or the shell, whichever you prefer. But the basic idea is that so we already know Tamio is from Kamigawa, and we know she's dressed in these Kamigawan robes. So there's a bit of a disconnect there that I think can be pretty easily just answered if the moon folk up above in the clouds, if they are still
traditional.
They're traditional, and everybody down below are the ones that have kind of been taken up in this futuristic world. Because you have to remember,
or it could have been a time passed kind of thing, because we don't know how it goes in the Blind Eternities. Maybe Tamio just gets home and just like, what happened here?
That's definitely not it.
That would be funny though. Why won't they make things to just be funny?
Because it wouldn't make sense lore-wise, because she's already left Kamigawa several times and gone back to her family that we've gotten to see.
But it'd be funny.
Also, Narset and Ajani and a few others, they actually spend time on Kamigawa talking and exchanging information with each other and telling stories.
Like Narset.
So basically what's really important about this though is that we also got news of an emperor that is probably going to be Tezzeret. We know that it's a planeswalker that we recognize, and we know it's not going to be anybody else because it's literally a technology-based plane. It makes sense for Tezzeret to be the one there, but we have a chance of seeing some really cool cyberpunk looking Tezzeret, which I think would be really cool, because the last time we saw him, he was directly under Bolas, right? And as he was directly under Bolas, that meant he still had the Bolas arm that he was given after Bolas ripped it off in a previous storyline. So now we could actually see him with a cyberpunk arm, and that would be his new design as far as going forward in the storyline.
I would like that.
Which is also important because Kamigawa is the place where Tezzeret lost his original arm, his original Ethereum arm. So we could even see that taking place, where he has his original Ethereum arm cyberpunkified.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So everything's all coming together. 2022 is going to be amazing, and that's just the beginning of it.
Yes, that is the Kamigawa bit. Now, that all said, the next one we have some more story on. We know for a fact that Elspeth and Obnixilis are going to be the two main planeswalkers for this set.
Elspeth's going to be a crime boss too?
No, we don't know anything about Elspeth. It's possible that this could be a place that she's been to. It's unlikely to be where she's from, because where she was from was taken over by Phyrexians. And that's why she's so traumatized when it comes to like darkness and stuff like that. So this is not going to be where she's from, I expect, because I don't think there's going to be mob boss Phyrexians, as cool as that sounds. But we do know that Obnixilis kind of loves being here. We know that
Just imagine that's where Brass got banished too. He's just there with his Al Capone hat, and just has a cigar, and just like, you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
I feel like
you don't have a daughter.
I don't know if Urbrask were in a mob boss kind of deal, I would expect it to be like Joe Pesci. Basically, the idea is that we're going to get to see Obnixilis. He might be 3 colors, because this is a 3-color demon-based crime family thing, which is weird, and I love the idea behind it of tricolor.
Elspeth's a demon crime boss?
No, and that's the main point. She, most likely, I'm really hoping, since she doesn't have her cloak anymore. Remember how she lost the cloak? Johnny has it, right?
She's going to have a hat instead.
I'm hoping she's dressed like a detective.
I would love that.
And I feel like it'd be cool if she shows up here, and this would be like another opportunity for us to have clue tokens, because Elspeth is here trying to learn something, to figure something out. And you just have this noir kind of deal. And I can already see the new noir-based cards. Like as far as the special frames go, just black and white style noir framed cards with a lot of chiaroscuro kind of setups as far as artwork goes. But all that said, really looking forward to this set and the story it's going to bring, because Obnixilis, we'll probably have a legendary lore on Obnixilis. This is very short, very simple. Kind of like how Tipples was just one episode as far as his actual story.
It's very short, very simple. A lot happens to Ob though in that short span of time. A
lot happens to Ob, because his story covers a lot of stuff. And
he gets roasted by an angsty pyromancer.
Yeah, pretty much. And so that's what's really exciting about new Capenna. Also, just want to point out Capenna, Capone.
They know what they were doing.
Yeah, they know what they were doing.
For once. Not like they did in Theros, but we won't get Ricky started on that.
So
I'm not actually trying to bait anything. Don't get Ricky started on that. He hates what they did to Theros.
I'm just going to say this. Sometime in April, we might do a special episode just about the Theros lore for the most recent set that we just had. But that's just in April. You'll see it when you see it. Dominaria United. Dominaria United, I have no idea what they're going to do.
Is it the past? Is it what's currently happening on Dominaria?
It's current. It's the present.
It's current?
Yes. And the reason that's
so we're going to get another new Radha.
But what's super important is they say that you're going to be seeing legends from the past. Not legends from the past, famous legends. So we're going to be seeing variants or versions of characters that could be time travel based, because Dominaria's whole deal has been about time travel with Teferi and with Karn and stuff like that. So we could be seeing some time travel shenanigans, which would explain why we are going to the Brothers' War in the next set. I highly doubt they'll do it, because if they yoink Urza from the past, then it kind of invalidates everything else that happens in the entirety of the timeline.
It's probably just going to be a storytelling set.
I think so. I think it's going to be a lot of sagas and a lot of these kinds of moments.
And then, of course, our hopefully flipping Urza.
Yes. Now, what's important here is we have Dominaria United. Oh my gosh, Joe, I hadn't even considered a flipping Urza. You are so flipping correct. Oh my flipping gosh. A flipping Urza, by which he means that one that is a double face transforming card. But still mind blown, Joe. Thank you so much for that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, besides that, before I explode, Dominaria United. Most likely we will get to finally see the Oath of Karn, I'm hoping, because that would be so cool and epic.
If there was an Oath of Karn, there'd have to be a big threat. So speculation, maybe Phyrexians try Dominaria again.
There is a piece of artwork released with Dominaria United that shows a coalition flag. The coalition flag, of course, having been used during the times of the original Phyrexian invasion of Dominaria during the overlay, where Urza had managed to get everyone it was mainly Eladamri who was really good at it, but all the different forces united together under the banner of the coalition flag, which is why I had the 5 colors. That's why you have coalition relic.
By that we might get a new Eladamri.
Eladamri's super dead. But
it's time travel based.
We don't know it's time travel based, Joe. We do not know that.
That's what you said.
I said it could be.
Why would you lie to me? Why would you lie to our loyal 3 viewers and the rest of the people who hopefully stop by? Hi.
So basically what happens is that the coalition flag was used specifically because of a planar threat, the Phyrexians. So seeing the coalition flag again means that there could be something else happening. It's possible we're going to be seeing a guy going around, like maybe a Capuchin descendant or a Sisay descendant going around trying to unite everything because of everything that happened with Balsanlock and the Cabal finally being gotten rid of. And it could
Aren't
just
the
be
Capuchins alive.
Somehow we had
Danitha and Raph are here.
Yeah, exactly.
They're current.
Yes, and that's the main thing, is that the Capuchins technically still exist despite the fact that Gerard was supposed to be the last of his bloodline and he died before ever getting it on with Hannah. So somehow the Capuchins still exist. They didn't really cover that as far as I know. So I would like to point out that prior to Dominaria United, if there is a request for it, we will be covering the gargantuan task that is at least the Phyrexian invasion. As we get closer to the release, maybe we'll have a few more bits on what Dominaria United is going to be about, and we can focus on something. But otherwise, we're just going to be doing a huge legendary lore series on Dominaria, and that is going to be brutal. But I'm really
careful what you ask for.
Yeah, I'm really excited about doing it because I love the Dominaria set, because it was so full of lore and so full of characterization and development and actual arcs that get picked up from time to time.
I don't mean to plug all the time, but if you want to hear one of the Dominaria stories, a really good one, go check out our legendary lore on Rebecca and her less impressive as a card husband.
Oh yeah, Galatian. Yes,
Galatian.
The story of the Thran is really important. That's basically the first story. That was why that was one of the first stories we did as far as legendary lore is concerned, because it's that big of a deal. Because the Thran is the beginning. Yeah, technically we got nickel bullets and all this other stuff going on prior to the dawn of time kind of thing, but as far as like the actual first big story, that was it. The Thran were the first big thing, technically. The Brothers' War actually came out first. The Thran was a prequel. And the Brothers' War, as we mentioned also, as you can tell, we're talking about this fourth thing, the Brothers' War. The Brothers' War, as far as sets were concerned, was covered in antiquities. And the idea, as they mentioned in the showcase, was that you were kind of looking at a history book version, an archaeological dig site version of the Brothers' War. That's why you find Urza's glasses, or you find the Ankh of Mishra. You're not finding anything that, like, you're not meeting the characters themselves, you're finding relics of the past, right? And Kayla bin Krug, the wife of Urza, who we did the legendary lore on because she deserved it, she wrote the entire book of the Brothers' War.
And that's why Urza and Mishra die there, because as far as she knows, they did. They don't come back as angry robot and planeswalker.
And so we're going to get to see in the Brothers' War set the actual, like, boots on the ground, wizard by Urza's side deal. We're going to get to meet Gix. We're going to get to meet Thanos in a more like standard setting. We get to see Ashnod. We're going to see a real good Mishra that actually does what he's supposed to do. We're going to see Urza.
Also, for clarity, Angry Robot was Mishra. Urza
Yes,
just makes angry
yes.
robots.
And Joe, you talking about the transforming Urza made it to where my mind just kind of exploded with possibility, because if they make Mishra also transforming, that would be beautiful. Because
Yes.
I'm not going to spoil it here because legendary lores, but transforming is also a huge deal for Mishra as well. If you look at, if you just go watch the one with Caleb and Krug, you'll get a good feel for what the Brothers' War was about. But if you guys want, we could go into more detail. We plan on going into more detail once the Brothers' War comes out.
The Caleb and Krug was meant to start it as a rant. It ended up being a really good episode. Whenever Ricky talks about anything that happens in Dominaria, he goes into overdrive, and it ends up being a really good episode. You guys should definitely check it out.
Unless it's Odyssey block.
You still did a good Chainer and Braids episode. Braids just wasn't that interesting of a character. Chainer was a really good character.
Chainer's a pretty cool guy. I'll admit, Chainer's pretty cool. I'm just not a huge fan of the Odyssey block in general. Now, all that said, we already have Midnight Hunt coming up. We have, oh, that could have been a very bad tongue twister if I had gotten that messed up. Crimson, wow. And what's important here is that that's not the last thing on our itinerary. There's the very, very important addition of the Magic Netflix series, which is going to be a weird spot for us because I'm going to do a legendary lore series on Gideon, the whole of Gideon's story, prior to the full series completing and all that stuff. But then we're going to get a whole bunch of stuff from the Netflix series. So depending on how things are going at that point, we might do something with the videos themselves and clips of it and stuff like that. We'll have to see how that goes. It really all depends on where we're at that point. But I'm looking forward to that too. I'm looking forward to the end of next year. And the next year is when it's going to be really hopping. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm super pumped, Joe. Joe, are you pumped for the Gideon cartoon and for the Brothers' War?
I've been pumped. And you guys who have been following us, Ricky is a storyteller, me is the guy who cuts in. Then Rick as a frame, I'm what you call a framing device.
Also, Joe, for your sake, go ahead and gush about your favorite part of this whole reveal of everything.
Oh, it wasn't even related to story. Chun-Li is going to be a card. I love Chun-Li. My Hello Kitty's not there, but my little Hello Kitty, it's Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Everything is Chun-Li.
In the future.
Let your friends know this is the place to be for Magic lore. So excited.
So excited.